It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Very good to have you in studio today. Amy Ossie's here with us with the Yavapai Food Council. You're the executive director.
Yes.
Welcome to studio.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Very good to have you. Last week you sent out an email, a mass email to everybody about all the food collections that have been taking place in the county. So I thought that was really neat, and I thought, okay, we need to get Amy in and talk about this project you have going on. It's the Neighborhood Food Project, Yavapai Food Project?
Yavapai Food Neighbors Project.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Why don't we start with what is the Yavapai Food Council and when did it all form?
Well, Yavapai Food Council is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're focused on helping those organizations that are feeding the hungry. We started in 2009 as a grassroots organization called the Verde Food Council, and focused on really supporting the food banks and child hunger and educating the community over here in the Verde Valley. And last year, the United Way of Yavapai County came to us and had strong interest in duplicating our model over in the Quad Cities area and throughout the rest of the county. And after really looking at the model, it was determined that it made the most amount of sense for us to just grow the organization. So we're now Yavapai Food Council, have been for well over a year, and we're serving all of Yavapai County at this point.
So obviously that pilot program launched really well and was doing really well, just the Verde Valley.
Right, absolutely. There's such need that the food banks in particular are really on a cycle during the holidays, which we're coming up on very closely, generally September through December. They have an abundance of food that's donated.
That's what a lot of people think about doing.
Exactly. And the challenge for them is the hungry numbers don't change when we hit January, February, March, and through the summer. So our goal is to try to find out what do those organizations need? What are they challenged with? And really to look outside of the box and figure out what the Food Council can do to support them to try to fill those gaps.
Well, you guys did think outside the box. You've got an interesting program going on. It's clever. And you had sent me a link to a video that was produced for the Neighborhood Food Project, and I watched that video, and it was very interesting. It's only about 3 minutes long, but it gives you a lot of details about how this program works, which of course we're going to talk about today. But why don't we get into that? What is Yavapai Food Neighbors Project?
The Yavapai Food Neighbors Project is really a community-based program that encourages ongoing donors to donate food that's going to the emergency food providers. Like we talked before, there's that cycle during the holidays when everybody's thinking about donating food. There's a lot of one-off food drives throughout the year which are essential for our emergency food providers. What this program does is it engages the community on a regular basis. It allows the emergency food providers to know when food is coming in from our events and count on that during the down season. So the Yavapai Food Neighbors Project was developed from a program out of Ashland, Oregon. They created a program in 2009 called the Food Neighbors Project.
Real quick, did the recession have something to do with the creation of this project?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you know,
okay, because I know we had some food banks in at that time, and they were talking about just the influx of people that were coming in. They were talking about how some of the folks that used to make all the big donations were now coming in and needing their help. So
absolutely, and 35 to 45% of the people throughout the country that are standing in line at the food banks are working more than one job. So it's no longer just the unemployed, it's really the working poor. Poverty is our big challenge here. So in Ashland, Oregon, they developed this program to really support one food bank at a time. And since 2009, they're in the inception in Ashland, they have developed a program with over 9,000 donors, and they've collected over 1 million pounds of food.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and you know, so your audience understands that what this program is all about is we go into communities and recruit what we call neighborhood coordinators. And those coordinators then go out and build a neighborhood of friends, maybe people they live next to, people they work with, somehow they're related on a daily basis with. And we provide a reusable green bag to each one of those donors that are recruited into a neighborhood. The program asks the donors to then, each time they go to the grocery store, buy 1 or 2 extra items like the foods that they buy for themselves.
Right.
And fill that bag over a 2-month period. So every even-numbered month on the second Saturday, all of our coordinators go out and pick these green bags up, filled off of the front porches of their donors. They then bring them to one of our collection sites where we have volunteers on site. We weigh every bag. We then have volunteers that sort the food into 9 different categories. And our emergency food providers that are receiving the food are on site. They then are given that sorted food. They pack it up and take it back with them. So between about 9 o'clock in the morning on this Saturday and noon, this whole process is completed and the food banks have the food to take with them back to their site.
Now, the food that I would leave in my green bag at my house, does that go to a local food bank or does it just get dispersed all over?
That's a really great question. What happens is the food banks that are at that collection site are local, and so because it's going to that site and it's going home with that food bank, it stays in that community. Right now we have collection sites in the village of Oak Creek, in Sedona, and Cottonwood. And this Saturday, I'm excited to announce that we're doing the pilot launch in Prescott Valley.
Nice.
So, yeah, so, you know, the food that's collected at that collection site stays in that community.
All right. You sent those numbers to me, and I want to go over some of them. The Verde Valley could use a little more help, but it's, as far as, it's been a year now?
It's 1 year on October 11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the total was 9,897 pounds. This is just the last.
Correct. And
the last pickup.
Yes, and the August collection is historically the lowest numbers because people are on vacation, right?
Right. So the 2-month period would be, yeah, pretty much the middle of summer.
Right.
8,248 meals is what that comes to. 605 bags collected. That's a lot of food. 685 donors participating, and 53 neighborhood coordinators. It looks like you have 3 neighborhood coordinators in Camp Verde, 5 in Cornville, 7 Cottonwood, 16 in Sedona, and then a whopping 22 in the village of Oak Creek. So we'd like to see all those numbers go up.
Absolutely. And you know, Cottonwood has been a community that hasn't grown quickly. Cornville, for the size, has consistently grown. Camp Verde we've struggled with. So anybody out there that's watching this program, if you're in Camp Verde and you would like to participate, we do need coordinators. The donors come. It's not a challenge getting donors, but it is a challenge getting coordinators. It's probably the easiest volunteering you'll ever do.
Then what's a coordinator do? Let's throw that up before we take our first break.
Great. Okay. So what a coordinator does is we ask them to come to an orientation one time, and it's a 2-hour orientation where they learn about the program, and then they actually get into our neighborhood organizing system. We have a beautiful, very easy to operate computer system that keeps everything organized. So we teach them how to do that. Then they connect with their, sign up their 15 to 25 donors in their neighborhood. They deliver green bags to them, and then they stay in communication. They're building community. They're creating relationships with these people. And then all they do is the morning of the collection event, they go to each home, pick up the bags, and drive through our collection event and drop the bags off.
Piece of cake, piece of cake. All right, we'll take our first break. Executive Director of Yavapai Food Council, Amy Ossie, in studio today. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Teens who smoke marijuana regularly can see an 8-point drop in IQ by the time they reach 38, putting a person of average intelligence into the lowest third of the IQ range. Marijuana harmless? Think again.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. You can't control where it will land, only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how to protect your community from wildfires.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. You can't control where it will land, only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how to protect your community from wildfires.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now.
Well, have you tried saving?
Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Countywide. Great to have you along. Amy Ossie in studio today. She's the Executive Director of Yavapai Food Council. We want to make sure that we did mention that the last pickup was 9,897 pounds of food, right. But what's the record so far?
The record so far is over 15,000 pounds of food at a collection event, and we have collected in the last year over 60,000 pounds of food.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food banks have to love it.
It's not only providing them that steady stream of food on the off seasons, but the quality of the food is improved because we make a point to ask our donors, purchase the same kinds of foods that you buy for yourself. Right. Historically, people use food drives as a way to clean out their cupboards. It might be outdated foods or, other types of items. But what we ask is that the food that they are donating is like fruits and natural juice, whole grains. We're seeing a lot of organic and all natural foods come in, higher protein, lower fats, those types of things.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about some of the other programs available. You wanted to make sure we talked about some of the programs.
Absolutely. Okay. And one thing that I would love to share, since we're talking about the Food Neighbors Project, is how the Food Neighbors Project is affecting the other programs that the Food Council offers. We, since 2009, have been instrumental in partnering with faith-based organizations and the emergency food providers, particularly Sedona Food Bank in Sedona, to administer the weekend backpacks for hungry kids in the Sedona area. And because of the amount of food that our community is donating in individual servings, we've been able to take the cost of a weekend backpack from $10 a backpack down to $2 a backpack.
What is the backpack?
So the weekend backpacks are for kids that qualify for free or reduced meals.
Okay.
When they go to school, the government has a program, USDA and Arizona Department of Education offer a free reduced meal program. So they get breakfast and lunch at free or very low costs. And a lot of these children, when they go home on Friday, if their family is really challenged, may not have the nutrition they need to come back to school on Monday, ready to study, absorb, and actually interact on a good social level. So the weekend backpacks are filled with two healthy breakfasts, including milk or juice, a shelf-stable milk and a juice, two entrees that would be lunch or dinner, two servings of protein, two snacks, two vegetables, and two fruits. So we feel that gives them that opportunity to have healthy nutrition over the weekend if they don't have it.
Gotcha.
And so the faith-based organizations and other community volunteers come to the food bank at this point to pack these backpacks for us. They deliver them to the school on Thursday. It's operating right now at Big Park and at West Sedona. There's other backpack programs throughout the county that are sponsored by other organizations. And so those backpacks are then picked up by the kids and taken home for the weekend. And then the empty backpack is brought back and filled for the next week.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so since we started this program, we've been able to provide over 5,000 backpacks to kids. And this year, because of the Food Neighbors Project and the community involvement, we are expanding the backpack program in Sedona on a pilot basis. It's been challenged. Some schools are challenged because they don't have the staffing or they don't have the funds needed to support 100 or 150 backpacks coming into the school. We were facing that here in Sedona. We have a population of about 185 kids that we've determined that should receive, that do qualify to receive backpacks. But we've had to selectively look at the kids that we feel have the highest need and limit it to 30 backpacks a year.
That's too bad.
So this year, 100% of the kids are going to be notified.
Okay.
And we hope to have about 125 or more that are involved in the program. So we're very excited that we can reach more kids with more food.
That's great. It sounds like it's really working well. You also wanted to make sure we hit the daily dinner program. That's
the Daily Diner program.
Daily Diner, yes.
That's sort of an offshoot also of the USDA Department of, and the Arizona Department of Education breakfast lunch program. In Cornville, Desert Star Community School has about a 64% rate of kids that qualify for free or reduced meals. Yavapai Food Council has recently done a study across the county looking at rural schools, charter schools, and child care centers that do not have commercial kitchens. And we've looked at what is their rate of free reduced qualification and how many kids really need food at those schools. We were notified by some staff at Desert Star that there are children that are coming to school without having breakfast. They don't bring lunch with them, and there's no food service on site. So the question is, how are these kids making it through the day?
Right, right.
So the Food Council is now qualified and partnering with Arizona Department of Education to administer the USDA program. So we're partnering in Sedona with the school district to pack brown bag breakfasts and lunches that meet nutritional standards, and we have volunteers that are delivering them daily for us to Desert Star School beginning in September.
Very good.
And we're thrilled about that. We'll be serving hopefully about 1,000 meals a week to those kids.
Wow, wow. We have to take our second break already.
Okay.
Executive Director of Yavapai Food Council, Amy Ossie, in studio today. I'm Paul David. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Time to wake up. I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Don't forget, you've got a job to do today.
Hey, Mom. I got the job. Thanks.
Got the job. Welcome aboard.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Teens who smoke marijuana regularly can see an 8-point drop in IQ by the time they reach 38, putting a person of average intelligence into the lowest third of the IQ range. Marijuana harmless? Think again.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Welcome back to Countywide. Great to have you along. Yavapai Food Council, YavapaiFoodCouncil.org. Great website to go for more information. A phone number for you, 254-8172. That's 254-8172, or YavapaiFoodCouncil.org. NeighborhoodFoodProject.org. They can find information there too.
Yes.
But YavapaiFoodCouncil.org, I imagine that's mostly local.
Mostly local.
Local, just information, local information. Yes, yes.
Well, we do also have reports and statistics on there that are statewide, which is really great to see what's going on in the state of Arizona.
All right, now we want to remind everybody that there's a kickoff going on in Prescott Valley. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Right. This is our first launch over in the Quad Cities area. And so we have a pilot. We start every community with a controlled pilot project where we bring in a small group of coordinators. We have 7 coordinators that'll be delivering green bags this Saturday morning in Prescott Valley to the Fry's on Glassford Road at 10 a.m. I encourage the community, if you're interested in seeing what this project is all about, this is a great time to come because we have an opportunity for them to sign up to become coordinators, sign up to become donors. They can actually get in and help us do some sorting. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so that's coming to Prescott Valley where at again? What time?
It's at the Fry's parking lot on Glassford Road. The deliveries start at 10 a.m. If they'd like to come volunteer, we ask that they're there by 9:15.
Okay. And then October, we have a 1-year anniversary coming up.
Yes, our 1-year anniversary.
Already, huh?
It's great.
Right, yeah.
And we have so many committed people that are have been supporting the program. We've grown to over 1,000 donors in the Verde Valley since we started. And we're going to have a big celebration at the Sedona Collection Site. We're launching a new program this year at our 1 year that you're actually the first person, all of you, to find out about this.
Look at us.
So in the past, we've supported the food banks fully, but then we have this whole other network of congregate meals, hot meals, senior centers, other organizations that are serving the same population that need help. So we are going to launch our restaurant neighborhood program, and that allows restaurants to now donate the large number 10 cans of food that the institutional pack.
Right.
They can donate gallon shelf-stable products, and those will go direct to our senior centers, our hot meal programs. Very excited about that. And at our 1-year anniversary, we do have commitments from one national food distributor and one regional food distributor to match the amount of food that comes in at our collection event. So hope that we get a lot of restaurants involved in that.
All right. Well, YavapaiFoodCouncil.org is the site to go to for more information, or you can call 254-8172. Amy, very good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank
Good luck
you.
with everything. It sounds like it's going really great, and it's a good project. I'm Paul David. That's today's Countywide, and we'll talk to you again next time.